Hello there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter with Lorraine and Kathy, and we're back. Can you believe it? This is kind of an impromptu thing. I just sent these gals a Facebook message a couple hours ago and said, can you come over? Everyone's asking about Ask a Crafter. They're gonna think that we had a fight or something. So they decided to come over, and Lorraine scooch in a little bit. We want to make sure they can see all your lovely faces. So we're all going to go down to West Springfield the first weekend in June. It's the 6th and the 7th. Is it the show date, or is it this?
5th, 6th, and 7th. The 5th is classes.
5th is the class day. And I'll be teaching a couple watercolor classes, so I hope you guys come on down. I know there's still space. There's plenty of space in the watercolor techniques for stampers, and there's a little bit of space in this using watercolors to stamp class. So I'll put links below to Heirloom Productions where you can sign up for the classes. We have 12 tickets to give away. Yeah, and I want to make sure it goes to people that are going to be in Springfield that can use the tickets. Please, everybody, feel free to comment. But if you want to win tickets to the Heirloom show, I'm going to ask that on Wednesday when I post this on my blog. That's tomorrow for those of you guys watching tonight on Tuesday night. This is going to make no sense if they're watching it on Thursday. What the heck? What do you mean Tuesday? This isn't live. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just head over to my blog. And Lorraine's phone is going. Should we start that again?
No.
Okay. So just go over to my blog and say, I'm going to Springfield. I'd love to win tickets. And if we have more than 12 people say they're going and want tickets, then we'll have to draw names. If we have less, then I guess some of you guys will get 2 tickets. I don't know. So just go ahead and leave that in the comments. You could also mention if you have a friend going or something in case we don't have that many people sign up. We can make sure that none of them go to waste. Right. No ticket left behind, people. It's my policy, my no ticket left behind policy. All right, so I know you guys have been waiting for Ask a Crafter, so we should probably jump right into the questions. Who'd like to go first?
I will.
All right, Kathy's first.
Pamela Fitzsimmons says, if it's not a silly question, there's no silly questions. I had no idea you have a lot of snow and can't imagine the snowbanks.
This is an older question.
But they're just gone. It's not really that old.
It's barely gone.
3 weeks ago, we still were getting snow in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
But where does it all go? 2, does it all melt at once and give you floods, or over the weeks, or just start to melt gradually until spring? Please take a picture of it.
This should be Ask a Meteorologist.
Yeah.
It depends on how the weather turns, whether it really melts over a couple days or it takes a few weeks.
Then we have trouble when it rains.
And if it rains too on top of it in the spring. Yeah, we had a couple flooding notices.
Yeah.
But it did kind of gradually go. I don't think it was too much flooding.
No, we had fire danger last week.
And now,
fire danger.
And now,
just
weeks after the snow is all gone, we're having fire issues.
It seems kind of hard to believe.
I know, we could just, it was just last week I could open the back door. I mean, we had snowbanks up to the back door until last week, so yeah, we were lucky. We didn't have floods. Nothing like those poor folks down in, was it Texas? They're getting awful floods right now. Guys, if you're in Texas, I hope you're staying safe and dry.
Tornadoes. My niece just had a tornado siren going on.
That's
2 days ago. Yeah,
so we get the snow, but it could be a lot worse.
Yeah, it could be. It lasts forever, it seems like.
Oh, it was a long winter.
Some winters longer than others.
Oh, yeah. Okay. MVAS294 Ever says, if embossing a digital stamp and you can't do it right away, you could use a Versamark marker to outline the image. That way you don't have to rush.
Oh, it's a tip, not a question. That's a great tip.
That's a great tip.
Yeah,
definitely.
Awesome.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Makes us not prepared for
Well,
the next question.
You don't have anything to do, now, do you?
I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to drink my coffee.
Yeah.
Lisa Ann, she says, hi, Lindsay. New fan and follower here, so I apologize in advance if this has been answered a bazillion times. We're really good at that. I'm having trouble figuring out how to store alcohol versus dye-based markers. I see many people insist they be stored horizontally, but I'm just not sure. Is there a right or wrong way for the longevity of your markers? Thank you so much.
Double-ended markers should be stored flat. Actually, it doesn't hurt to store any markers flat. It ensures that both ends of your marker will remain inked and juicy and ready to go. If you have it on in one end, you could end up with too much ink and it puddling and leaking, and the other end would go dry on you. So just keep them flat.
Now, a lot of marker storage things aren't really quite flat, but is that considered flat? Like yours has a little tip to it.
Oh, a little incline is fine.
That's okay.
Just, mostly horizontal.
All right.
Yeah, it's like this box here. These are my, oh my gosh, I can show you ladies, my brand new chameleon pens.
Oh my god.
Which was mixed. I did a review on these, and some people have them and love them, and some people are like, oh, that's too fussy. I don't want to deal with that. It was really funny to see like the mixed reviews on these. I think they're kind of cool. They've got like a clear mixing chamber, and you press the ink to it, the marker to it, and it makes the tip of the marker light, so when you color, you get a fade.
Oh.
It does have a learning curve, but like, so this is the box it comes in, so I should really tip it on its side if I want to keep it in the box like that. Although I just had it leaned up over there, so I'm just going to put it back the right way, right over here. There, because I saw Kathy eyeballing those things. Lindsay's not storing her markers away.
I was looking at the plastic container that she has other markers in.
Okay.
Shame, Lindsay.
This person is an older person like me, I think, because her name is Doris 2-Day-1. I think Doris Day. You guys don't know her.
I know who Doris Day is.
Of course
Okay.
I know who Doris Day is.
I have a question. I have been recently to a craft fair, and I've noticed that a lot of people that are selling their watercolor cards are not selling the originals. They are selling a print of the original watercolor card. How do they do this? Is it done on a computer? Is it better to sell your cards this way, or is it better to sell the original that you have painted?
Well, it's completely up to you. I think a lot of the watercolor cards probably were a larger painting, and then they had that scanned and reproduced onto cards, and you can either use a service for that, like in the back of art magazines, like art instruction magazines, there's always like flyers for different companies that offer that service. You can go to Staples and you could have them color copied on glossy cardstock. That's probably the most affordable way if you don't want to get like hundreds of them. And I've used that before for business cards and other promotional things. They do a good job. You don't really have to worry about light fastness for just a greeting card like you would if you were selling a print where you'd really want to make sure it was a good quality copy that could be hung in direct sunlight and not fade. But generally, I think they're probably just, it's because it's a larger picture. They want to get a little more mileage from it. Maybe they spent a couple hours on it, so they don't just want to sell it. It's just a way for them to make more residual income off of their cards. Personally, I'd rather sell an actual piece of artwork, and I produce so much that I just sell my cards. I don't make prints, but I have uploaded artwork to like Cafe Press and sold note cards that way, and that's a print-on-demand site, so like you could go to it, you could order the cards, and they would ship it right to you. I really don't have anything to do with that other than uploading my artwork, so that's probably the only way I would do that, just because I don't want to hold the inventory, but you could do whatever you want. In fact, my watercolor teacher, who I had from when I was 7 to when I was a teenager, every year she would paint a scene from our hometown, China, Maine, and she would use that for her Christmas card. So it was really cool to, get those cards every year with her print of her painting. So
did you save them?
my mother did. My mother has them.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So, what's the different? What would there be a difference in pricing between like the actual watercolor card or a copy or print?
Oh,
of it?
definitely. I think that like I get and I'm not in like the most economically rich area of the world, so I get $7 an actual watercolor card, and it's taken me about 10 to 20 minutes to paint, and it's usually something I've done in a tutorial. Then I've got the card and I just pop it in my shop, and they sell really briskly at that price. So like you'd probably
I just got one, the Irish one.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah, I
oh
love
cool.
it.
Oh, neat. You're at the schoolhouse then.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes, I got one of your husband's wood things too.
Oh, neat.
Oh yeah, they're beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. I'll let him know.
Yeah.
But so I would think you'd probably sell like a print, probably like $1 a piece or maybe $2. It depends on what your market is and how nicely they were done, and the quality of the stock and the envelopes and stuff. But
So is it something that you could do yourself?
you could do it yourself, but I don't think it would be that affordable. I think if
practical.
you went and bought, by the time you bought the paper and you bought the ink cartridges, unless you have you can get a good quality generic ink like I use for my printers, I think that it would be a wash.
Just not. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing wrong with it, and you can always give it a try. That way you don't have to part with your original artwork. I don't have a problem parting with my artwork. It's never been anything I've had trouble with.
Okay, Lucy R. Hey, Lindsay, I have a challenge for you if you have not done it already, and I missed the video, by the way. I never miss a video. Ranger discontinued a product called UTE Brights. I know that they have liquid pigments for clear, but honestly, they're kind of suckish. Totally, my opinion. And not very vibrant. Is there anything that I could mix with clear to give me a beautiful color in place of the brights? I appreciate any ideas you might have, and I also wanted to let you know I am your #1 fan.
Oh, thanks. I think that any of those additives you add to embossing powder are going to be transparent and not give you that really bright pop of color. But I think it's American Crafts that has, it's either called, there's two different brands I'm thinking of. One is called Wow, and one is called Zap, I think, embossing powders. It's not as thick as UT. You'd have to build up more layers, but it would give you that really bright opaque color. Those two, the Wow definitely, and the Zap embossing powders are really super vivid. They have like neon shades and everything, so I would do that rather than trying to make your own in that instance. I think you'd be disappointed with your results.
Not to mention the extra work involved.
Yeah, and then wasting it if it doesn't come out all right, because colored embossing powder and clear embossing powder both cost the same anyway. So
right.
Okay, Cecile Langlois, have you ever heard of using hairspray for sealing pencil or ink when you want to watercolor one of your own drawings?
Well, hairspray is water soluble. You can wash it out of her hair, so I don't know if it would really seal it in so you could watercolor. Did you want to seal so she could watercolor one of your drawings? You shouldn't need to seal your pencil. Your pencil should stay put. You can do a watercolor right over your pencil, let it dry, and even erase your pencil marks if you want to. That doesn't need to be sealed. So I'm wondering, I've heard of using hairspray to seal like pastel or chalk drawings to keep them from the powder from flaking off. It darkens your color just like any fixative, and it works fine. If it was like a masterpiece, I think it would probably spring for the Krylon fixative, just to make sure it's acid free and not going to yellow your paper. But yeah, I'm just thinking maybe she asked the question a little differently than what she meant. So yeah, I've used it to seal my chalk drawings, and but I think if you're just doing a pencil sketch, you want to watercolor it. Just go ahead and watercolor it. You're fine.
Cindy Bliss, thank you for the post. I never miss them and look forward to them. I've been thinking about alcohol markers and looking at prices for sets. They are expensive. Copics. Can you make some suggestions? Some art classes I'm taking seem to use more than one brand. Is that because of the colors available or other factors? Those that are refillable, where do you get the ink? Thanks so much.
There are so many good brands of markers, and there's a handful I could recommend. I think on a budget, the best bang for your buck might be like a Pro marker or a Prismacolor marker. I know the Pro markers, like as far as retail price, if you have to walk into a store, Pro markers are going to be your most affordable at about $2.80, $89 a marker. Prismacolors is about $4.19 a marker, MSRP. And then you get into the Copics, which are $6.99, $7.99 a marker. I just tried out the Chameleon pens, which it's 20 colors, and they fade with there's like an alcohol blending chamber, so you can get all different tones within each color. So that could be an affordable option. But I find that if you've used other markers and you go to those, a lot of people are frustrated with them. But beginners that started off with them seem to really enjoy them, and because that's what they're learning on. So I would say it would really depend. You might want to, I don't think there's any, Copic has the biggest line of colors, the biggest amount of colors, and probably Prismacolor, then probably Pro marker. So maybe that's why they have a few Copics, because they're just colors they can't get in the other lines. But I think you could have a line of Pro markers and not be at a loss for color. So I would say Pro marker is probably the cheapest and good quality marker. But you can also mix them with Sharpies and other stuff too. I would recommend getting like Bic Markets, like a pack of 36, because those colors are going to be bright. Pardon me, a little burp. And then get some lighter shades of Pro markers or Prismacolors so you can blend them. You ladies have any other suggestions for?
No, that sounds good.
Yeah, there's a lot out there now. There's more and more every day, it seems like.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, Susan Pretorius. Hi, Lindsay. A question. Is the Creative Palette the same as the Jelly Plate?
It is very similar. The Stampendous Creative Palette is cheaper than the Jelly Plate. It's also thinner and a little firmer. So the images from the Stampendous Creative Palette are not going to be as detailed as the ones on the Jelly Plate. And then like a real gelatin plate that you make yourself will actually have even more detailed images. So it just depends on what you want. If you just want a Jelly Plate to play with for a couple weeks, make your own out of gelatin, play with it, see if you like it, and then maybe invest in one of the other two permanent ones. But yeah, they're very similar, just some minor differences. Craft Test Dummies did a comparison between the Creative Palette and the Jelly Plate, if anybody's interested. It's Craft Test Dummies on YouTube. Like Crash Test Dummies, but craft. Hi, Jenny!
Sanctuary Rain S. I'm not a scrapbooker, but I love paper. Just learned about art journaling in September of last year, and I love it because I enjoy painting and drawing so much. Holy moly, all the new art supplies out there. Where have I been? Lindsay, is there a way to make my own gelatos? Thank you.
I don't think there's a way to really make your own gelatos, but there are products that are very similar. The gel sticks seem to be about the exact same thing. They're kids' version by Faber-Castell, the same company. But there's another product out there that I really like, and it's by Crayola, but it's their kind of like their upper crust Crayola. It's called Portfolio, and it's the Portfolio water soluble oil pastels. You get 24 in a box for under $10, and they're really, you get a lot of product because there's no like plastic casing. It's about I would say about 3 or 4 inches long by over half an inch round, and they're really creamy, like lipstick creamy, and they're very similar to the gelatos, and you get a lot more product for your buck in that. So I would go ahead and try that. You can even get them at Staples, so you know they're easy to find too. Blick has them, Amazon has them, you can find them everywhere.
Sounds good. Marianne M says, hi Lindsay, can you post a video about painting a large scale watercolor like 2 feet by 3 feet to hang on the wall? I don't even know what kind of paper to paint it on. Thanks.
You can buy watercolor paper in rolls by Arches. Prepare to spend about $100 because it's not cheap. The paper is expensive. I mean, like a 22-inch by 30-inch sheet is about $10 now, so a roll is going to be exponentially more expensive. I probably won't do any large-scale watercolor paintings just because on the YouTube format, videos that are, you know, under 10 minutes do best, but definitely under 20 minutes, so I just don't think I would have that many people sticking around to watch it. So maybe in the future if I do an online class, I'll keep that in mind.
BJ Rolls. Hi Lindsay. Just a quick question. I'm attempting a project on stretch canvas. So far I've glued crumpled tissue paper all over the canvas as a backing and want to place a large piece of burlap on top. I got a 1/2 meter length really cheaply but want to color it. Would it be best to dilute the acrylic paint with a bit of water before using it to both help it go further and to keep the fabric from becoming too stiff and heavy?
I think that there's a 30% rule with acrylic paint, so if you're going to add water to it, you don't want to add more than 30%, so it has to be at least 70% of acrylic. On paper, it's not that big of a deal, because it's absorbent, but if you're going on canvas, it really needs to bond. So what I think I would do was actually add a little bit of Mod Podge or gel medium to it, and then maybe a little bit of water to make it stretch. I don't think weight is going to be an issue. You just want to make sure it's going to bond because that's your base layer. If you have a weak layer and then you put more things on top, it could flake off eventually, and you don't want that to happen. So just add a little Mod, even Elmer's glue if that's all you have. It's going to be better than just adding water.
Good old Elmer's glue. Sharon said, good show. I'm looking for info on making necklaces or pieces made from a piece of glass or plastic and thermo embossing powder and stamp to make a design and overlay of iridescent wrap, then put it in a melting pot. I saw this at a make and take at the Las Vegas stamp show in 2008. Anyone know the vendor or how to get in touch with them?
I have tried Googling that because I think I've seen something like that too, where they took like
It sounds like a lot of steps to me.
I think I know what she's talking about. It was there was a technique where, and I'm thinking they worked in like either resin or in embossing powder, and they had like this iridescent. It almost looked like the iridescent tissue paper, not tissue paper, but the plastic mylar iridescent stuff. Yeah, and it's like they put that, they dropped that into the embossing or something. I googled for that and I tried to find it. I tried to explain it any way that I could remember seeing it because it was a video I saw quite a long time ago.
2008?
And I can't find it. So you've never heard of anything like that?
No.
Shoot, if any of you guys know what I'm talking about, what she's talking about, can you please leave a link in the comments? If it doesn't show right up, it just means I'll have to approve it because sometimes if someone puts a link in, I have to approve it. But I've seen something like that somewhere. I don't know if it was like on the Friendly Plastic channel or because I even looked back there to see if it's something they had done.
I think I remember something on Carol Duvall when they were doing stuff with
Maybe.
embossing powder and like cookie cutter shapes and
Yeah.
adding stuff to it, but I don't remember that.
So if you guys know, please leave it in the comments below, and then we can all look at it together, because it's driving me crazy because I can't find it either. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up if you love Ask a Crafter. We'll see you in Springfield, and don't forget to go on my blog if you want to win tickets. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.